Good morning, one and all. Today we will discuss another theory of child development. In the previous class, we have discussed about Jean Piaget's cognitive development theory. So there we have discussed the different components of cognitive development and uh, four basic stages of cognitive development. So today we will discuss the psychosocial theory of development by Eric H. Erickson. Eric H. Erickson was popularly known as a developmental psychologist, and he is influential for his psychosocial development theory. This is a very important theory for the examination point of view, from competitive point of view. Try to listen perfectly and try to understand. And the theory of Eric Erickson explores how individuals progress through different stages of life, addressing different social and emotional challenges at each stage. It means that in this theory, Erickson wants to say that throughout the life, the individual faces different type of emotional challenges, social challenges, and individual tries to get rid from or try to come out from the challenges and we can say the problems and issues. I have told you that Eric Erickson contributed a theory. The theory is popularly known as the psychosocial development theory, which describes tasks to be accomplished at different stages of life. What are the different stages of life? In which stage the individual faces what type of the challenges and issues, and how the how the individual expects from the society, how the individual tries to solve the problems or address the issues and challenges, we will discuss in detail. And Eric Erickson offered a basic framework for understanding the needs of young people in relation to society in which they grow, learn, and later make their contributions. So, in his theory, it means that through his theory, that is the psychosocial theory, Eric Erickson has given a framework for understanding the needs of young people in different stages of life. What is the expectations of society and society members, where the individual grows, learns, and later he or she contributes to the society. He has given a framework. Okay. So, although he was influenced by, actually, he what the theory has contributed, influenced by Anna Freud, the psychoanalysis theory of Sigmund Freud. Still, of course, he was influenced by Anna Freud and the daughter of Sigmund Freud, and he was completely influenced by the psychoanalysis theory of Sigmund Freud. But his work or his contribution in terms of psychosocial theory is different from Sigmund's psychoanalysis theory or psychosexual theory. And Eric Erickson proposed 8 stages of human development. 8 stages of human development, completing, you are covering the complete lifespan from birth to last stage. It means that he has divided the complete lifespan into 8 stages, and the 8 stages covers the complete life starting from birth to the death, or you can say the last breath to the last breath. According to Erickson, each stage of human development is associated with a specific crisis or challenge. Each and every stage is associated with a challenge or crisis. In short, we can say each stage represents a critical aspects of individual psychological and social development. Each stage represents a critical aspects of and individuals, psychological and social development. So let us discuss in details what are the 8 stages of psychosocial development theory you are contributed by Erickson. Erickson's psychological theory emphasizes on the emergence of the self, the search for identity, the individual's relationship with others, and role of culture throughout the life. What are the role of the culture? What are the role of your the self identity, role of the individual's relationship with society members, family members, and others? So let us discuss the 8 stages of Erickson theory. What are the 8 stages? I want to say one by one. This is very important from examination point of view. Many times questions come in your TET examination, that is what teacher eligible test, and also the CBT and other examinations. What are the different stages systematically, and what are the duration or approximate age of the stage, and what the basic your events happens in the stage. So out of 8 stages, the first stage is basic trust versus basic mistrust. This is the first stage. Basic trust versus basic mistrust. Birth, this stage covers birth to 12 to 18 months. It means it's starting from birth and ends in the 12 to 18 months. It means 1.5 years. Okay. And what important events happens here? That is the feeding. Second stage is that autonomy versus shame or doubt. And this stage covers 1.5 years to 3 years. We can say that is the your infancy period, 2 to 3 up to 2 years. That is 1.5 years to 3 years. Up to 3 years means beginning of your early childhood period or ending of the beginning of the your infancy, and also the first stage of the early childhood period. And what is the main event at that time? That is the toilet training. Okay. And the third stage is that initiative versus guilt. And this stage is called, we can say, that is the early childhood period, and that stage covers the age that is 3 to 6 years. What is the duration? Question may come, what is the duration of the third stage of Erickson's psychosocial theory? That is the 3 to 6 year, and this stage is called the initiative versus guilt theory. And what is the main specialization of this theory, main feature of this theory? That is independence. That is independence. And the fourth stage is industry versus inferiority. Industry versus inferiority. We will discuss one by one. I will discuss each and every stage again. Okay. For the fourth stage, industry versus inferiority. And this stage covers the age duration, that is 6 to 12 years. I mean, this is the your later childhood period. This is the later childhood period. And what is the main event of that stage? That is called schooling. Schooling is the main event of that period. Next, fifth stage is that identity versus role confusion. Identity versus role confusion. And this stage covers the adolescence period. That is your 13 to 19. We can say that the teenage. Okay. And what is the basic or more important features of that period? That the peer relationship. Your peer relationship is the most important, we can say, the characteristics at the your fifth stage, that is the identity versus role confusion. Identity versus role confusion. What is the sixth stage? Sixth stage is the intimacy versus isolation. Intimacy versus isolation. That is the what is the age group? That is young adulthood. That is 20 to 34 years. What is the duration? 20 to 34 years. What is the basic characteristics or we can the main feature of this theory? This stage, that is a love relationship. Okay. And seventh stage is generosity versus stagnation. This is the seventh stage, and it comes under the middle adulthood stage. That is the middle adulthood stage. It covers 35 to 65 years. And what is the basic importance in this theory? You are parenting or mentoring. Parenting and mentoring are the most important features of this stage, that is generosity versus stagnation. And the last is, that is ego integrity versus despair. Ego integrity versus despair, and this stage covers the later adulthood, and it is the main specialization of this theory: reflection on and acceptance of life. Reflection on and acceptance of life. These are the 8 important stages he has divided. Your Erickson divided the complete life into 8 important stages. Okay, let us discuss one by one. First, you know what I have told you. The 8 stages of Eric Erickson's psychosocial development cover the complete life of a human being, starting from birth to death. Out of 8 stages, I want to say in a nutshell about the 8 stages. Out of 8 stages, first 3 stages, namely stages of trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame or doubt, and initiative versus guilt, cover the preschool year of a human child. In other words, we can say these stages come between birth and early childhood period. It means birth to 6 years only. These are the 3 stages. On the other hand, the fourth stage, which is called of Erickson's theory and of development, that covers the elementary schooling. The fourth stage covers the elementary schooling. Similarly, the adolescent stage of life covers the fifth stage, that is the identity versus role confusion. At that time, what happens? There is the confusion, there is a challenge: identity versus role confusion. What type of role the adult will you are perform or undertake at this stage? There is a confusion: identity confusion and role confusion. While adulthood covers the 2 stages, that is your seventh stage and eighth stage. What is the seventh stage? That is intimacy versus isolation, and eighth stage is generosity versus stagnation. Okay, sorry, this is your sixth and seventh stage. Okay, and finally the last stage of Erickson's psychosocial development falls at the last stage of life, and he names the stage as ego integrity versus despair. This is the last stage and last life of an individual. That is called the your what is the last stage? Ego integrity versus despair. Let me discuss one by one. What is the first stage, second stage? I want to discuss here in a nutshell. The first stage is called the trust versus mistrust. विश्वास और अविश्वास, ये प्रकार जो प्रथम स्टेज था. This is the essential stage of conflict between the trust and mistrust. The child will be in a dilemma. You can say dilemma, that is trust versus mistrust. The trust is positive and mistrust is the negative in nature. The infant develops a sense of trust in himself as well as environment. This trust develops when he feels others' supports for meeting his psychological needs. It means that the child trusts on these people who can, we can say, meet, who can fulfill the physiological needs of the child. On the other hand, he loses his faith and trust. He loses his faith and trust and develop mistrust if his needs are not fulfilled by the people around him. It means that here what happens? The child wants to or desires to fulfill his physiological needs, okay, his physiological needs, and the persons, the family members, the members around him or her who fulfill what we can say, who fulfill the basic needs or the physiological needs, he trusts on them, and those who are unable to fulfill the what we can say the physiological needs, the child what mistrust on them. More specifically, the newborn baby completely depends on his mother, and the mother provides the satisfaction of physical needs. What happens here? You know, that is I have told you what is the lifespan of that period, and this period what happens? The child basically depends on her mother, depends on her mother. Thus, the child develops a positive attitude of his personality as a trust towards his mother. Here, hope is the basic strength of development of the child. On the other hand, if the physical needs are not satisfied, if what the child desires, generally the physical needs he desires, if these needs are not satisfied, the child develops a conflict of mistrust with his mother or caretaker. So if mistrust is developed, the child shows abnormal behavior in future life of his personality. So this stage will lead the psychological crisis in his life. In short, we can say if the children are nurtured well by satisfying their physical needs for physical satisfaction, they feel secure and develop trust on their mothers, caretakers, people around them. So you can understand better what is the role of the parents, what is the role of the senior members of the family. At that time, what happens? The parents should try, the family members should try to fulfill the basic needs of the child and develop their boost of the trust of the child. Okay, पिला भितर जो विश्वास अच्छी से विश्वास को बढ़ावा दरकार अछि जदि विश्वास कोट ना कोटी विश्वासटा ठीक रे तार माने मिसट्रस्ट हे गला सेतले टिके साइकोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम हे पारे सेकंड स्टेज इज कॉल्ड द ऑटोनॉमी वर्सेस सेम और डाउट what happens here a sense of autonomy develop in child at this stage the child feels for the child feel we have already discussed in your sigma your what Jean Piaget's cognitive development theory okay independence okay a sense of autonomy develops in the child at this stage the child feels he is able to perform his duty independently at that time. So I feeling egocentrism, what we have discussed. Okay, he doesn't want help from others. If parents give reasonable freedom, his confidence develop. This confidence and the sense of independence or autonomy develop a sense of initiative which leads him towards success. Here, will is the main strength in this stage. What is the main strength of this stage? Will. It means that at that time, child think that he is independent, he can do anything. So, egocentrism was very acute at this stage. And if the child is recognized, if the child is respected, if the child is given importance, so what will happen? Your sense of initiative will develop. Sense of initiative will develop. And what is the main strength in this stage? That is the will. Will is the main strength. Contrary to this, what I have to I have to autonomy versus what? Same or doubt. Two things will happen. Autonomy will happen and same will also happen. Contrary to this, if he does not get the freedom, if the child is dominated, if the child is suppressed by somebody, so if the child does not get freedom, the child develops suspicion and doubt on his ability. What will happen? ଯଦି ତାକୁ ସ୍ୱାଧୀନତା ଦିଆଯିବ ନାହିଁ ତାହେଲେ ତା ମନରେ ଗୋଟେ ଦ୍ୱନ୍ଦ୍ୱ ଆସିବ କାହା ଉପରେ ଦ୍ୱନ୍ଦ୍ୱ ଆସିବ ତାର ଦକ୍ଷତା ଉପରେ ସେ ଭାବୁଥିବ ତାର ଦକ୍ଷତା ନାହିଁ ଏ ପ୍ରକାର ଫିଲିଂସଟେ ଆସିବ ସୋ ଦ ସସ୍ପିସନ୍ ହ୍ୱାଟ when he suspects himself ଯେତେବେଳେ ନିଜର if the child suspects about his I can say if the child develop the your suspicion about his abilities and others so shyness will be developed. Instead of initiation, he will hesitate to do anything and afraid of mistakes in child, which brings failure, and the failure results in feeling of guilt or shame. Okay, what will happen if the autonomy is not given, if the freedom is not given, if the child is not supported, if the child is not, we can say, reinforced? What will happen? The child will think about guilt, feel guilt about his competency, his ability, and as a result, the shyness will be developed. The initiation capacity will be turned into hesitation and afraid of mistakes in child, which brings the failure, and the failure results in feeling that develop the shame or guilt. Okay, so here doubt about him and feel inferior about him is a weakness. What is the strength? Will is the strength of this stage. Right? This is the question for you for TET and other competitive examination. In the second stage, will is the strength of the stage. What is the weakness of the stage? That is feel inferior about himself, feel inferior complex, shame. Okay, that is the weakness of this stage. Thus, children will be given autonomy, freedom for developing their confidence level, which will help them to start initiative. So he will ask, child will ask more questions that parents should answer the question, parents should help them, parents should allow the freedom and liberty to the children. So they will do anything, whatever it may be. The small children, they will be happy. So this is the, or we can say, the second stage of your Erickson's social development theory, and the third stage is called the initiative versus guilt. So what is that is the third stage, initiative versus guilt. At this stage, a rapid growth of child in all dimensions is felt. In comparison to previous two stages, what will happen? your rapid growth of child in all dimensions. In fact, the child starts initiatives for doing different tasks. His social horizon spreads from family to neighborhood, then to school. ଏ ଷ୍ଟେଜରେ କ'ଣ ହବ ପିଲା ପରିବାର ମେମ୍ବର ଠାରୁ ପଡ଼ୋଶୀରୁ ସ୍କୁଲ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ପଳେଇବ. ଇଟ୍ ମିନ୍ସ social relationship will be what broaden. The child expects more from his parents, okay, more from parents like toys, other usable articles, parental moral support. Purpose is the basic strength. What is the basic strength of this stage? Purpose is the basic strength generally developed at this stage. The child wants to produce something new. The child becomes creative and competitive if he gets the parental supports, okay. On the other hand, at this stage, the child develops the sense of right or wrong. So the sense of right and or wrong also develop during this stage. Feeling of guilt is the developed when he does not follow the moral codes or conducts showed by his parents and teachers. Whenever he is unable to follow the moral conducts, moral principles, social principles fixed by the parents and teacher, he feel the guilt. Would you get my point? So feeling of guilt is developed when he does not follow the moral conducts, and more particularly if the child do not develop the basic strength, they will feel the guilt. So when the child is unable to develop the basic strength, so the child will feel what? You are a guilt, okay. Feel guilt. So the parents and teacher to develop the positive attitude and a sense of initiative. At this stage, their parents and teachers should take care of to keep their children away from any kind of guilt. As a result, the children can develop and get success in their prosperity. So you will be the future teacher in future. Try to understand these stages. How do the parents should support the children? How do the your family members, school teachers can help that students for developing you can say the initiative capacity. They should encourage. The children should be kept away from the guilt. Okay. So let me discuss the fourth stage, that is your industry versus inferiority. That is industry versus inferiority. So this is the stage. This is the stage at 6 years. This stage starts at 6 years and ends just before the adolescence period. It means that this is the stage of later childhood period. It is the later childhood period, and during this stage, a child tries his level best for self improvement and for the conquest of outer world. This is the very important thing. The child to the child try his level best for self development, self improvement, and for the conquest of the outer world. For this, he shows his industriousness and hard labor in all directions. So the sense of your industriousness, hard labor in all direction was developed during that time. The basic strength developed in this stage is the sense of competence in academic and social. What is the strength of this stage? That is the sense of competence in academic and social tasks. The children come forward to accept the challenges and to do hard work. At this stage, what happens? The child comes forward to accept the challenges, okay, accept the risk, and do hard work, hard labor. If these are not fulfilled, inferior complex will be developed in the child. In short, we can say success leads to a feeling of industry and failure results in feeling of inferiority. If the child gets success, the sense of industry, or you can say the hard labor, is developed. If the result, if the child fails, is unable to get the success, that you are the sense of you can say the inferior complex will be developed. So this is called the stage of industry versus inferiority. Industry versus inferiority. Then we discuss about the fifth stage, that is identity versus role confusion. Identity versus role confusion. So let me discuss what is the identity versus role confusion. Your fidelity is the basic strength you are developed in this stage. At this stage, the adult struggle for his identity in group and peers. This is adolescence period, and it is the you can say the the child makes the groups, the team. So at this stage, the adult struggle for his identity in a group and peers. It means that the adult tries to be the leader of the team. Okay, the adult always expects the other members of the, we can say, other members, other members should recognize him. Okay, so at this stage, the adult struggle for his identity in a group and peers. He wants to prove himself as the leader in various activities. Particularly, a man adult wants to gain popularity among the female counterparts. What I have told you when I was discussing about in the previous class, discussing of the adolescence period, the adolescence, the period of stress and strain. While I was discussing, I have told you that at that time the identity crisis will be coming, and what happens here? The male adult always try to get the attention of the female counterparts, and they feel superior when they are identified and recognized by their parents, their your peers. When the peers, parents, and teachers recognize and identify the child and reinforce this child, they think they feel very happy. They feel superior that he is the potential member of the group or the team or the family. Okay, and contrary to this, on the other hand, you can say if the adults are not identified, if his activities are not recognized, his attempts are not respected, I can say, by the peers, parents, and teachers, there will be diffused a sense of role confusion creates in the mind when his works are not, we can say, the encouraged, respected, recognized, we can say the awarded. What will happen? The role confusion will be created in the mind of the adult. Role confusion. So he will suspects about himself. He will questions about his identity. That is the role identity. Could you get my point? So contrary to this, if the adults are not identified, recognized by their peers, okay, parents and teachers, they will be diffuse a sense of role confusion and creates in their mind. They think they are not important and their role is not important. Their family, in the school, among friends or peers. What will happen if they are not recognized? They will think themselves that actually they are not the adult will feel that he is not the potential member of the family and he is not recognized, he is not respected, perhaps he is doing something wrong. So that's why we can say you are the at this stage you can say identification and recognition lead them a strong sense of identity, and lack of that results in confusion about their role in life. So being the parents, being the teacher, being the peers, being the classmates, being the batchmates, they should recognize the work of their, we can say, family members, their son or daughter, the students, or you can say the friends. So this is a very important stage. Thus, the works of adult at this stage should be recognized and they should be encouraged to lead the group, and group leader, class monitor, unit head, etc. are the ways of identification and recognition to meet the identity crisis among the adult at this stage. It means that ଆମେ ଜାଣିଥିବା ସ୍କୁଲ ସ୍ତରରେ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ମନିଟର କରାଯାଏ, ଗ୍ରୁପ ଲିଡର କରାଯାଏ, ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ କାମର ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସିବିଲିଟି ଦିଆଯାଏ। ଏହା ଦ୍ୱାରା ପିଲା ଭାବେ ଯେ ମୋତେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଦିଆଯାଉଛି, ମୁଁ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ଦି ପଟେନ୍ସିଆଲ ମେମ୍ବର, I can do these things, I am the leader. This feeling what that develop the strength of this child. That's why the parents, the teachers, and also the friend circle should realize this thing. That's why the strength of the adult can be developed. Let us discuss of the sixth stage. This stage starts at the early adulthood, and at this stage, an individual wants to extend his social circle is as large as possible. It means that what happens at that time, the adult tries to you are spread or we can say the skills of his social arena. Okay, if he is sociable and amicable in nature, he is liked by others. If he is self-centric or intolerant, he is hated by others, particularly girls. So love is the basic strength and sociability is the best way and means of intimacy. At this point to be noted, that the sixth stage, that is called as intimacy versus isolation. What is the basic strength of this stage? Love is the basic strength and sociability is the basic ways and means to intimacy of at this stage of development. Individuals seek close relationship and intimacy with others, especially their loved ones. The intimacy leads strong relationship, and if intimacy is not developed, they will feel better to stay isolation. Okay, what happens at this stage? The adult tries to keep relationship with others. If he gets intimacy, so his strength will be developed. He keep relations with others, and the scope of relationship will be what scaled off. If he is neglected, if he is not recognized, if he and what happens, he will try to live isolation. Try to live, এই সময় ଦେଖିବ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ପୁରା ଆଇସୋଲେଟେଡ୍ ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତି, ଏକୁଟିଆ ରହନ୍ତି। ଏହି ସମସ୍ୟା ହେଉଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଅନୁଭବ କରିବ ଯେ you are he is discarded, he is we can say he is not what accepted. So what will happen? So the your adult will get discarded or separated from their kith and kins, your relatives, friends। ସେ କ'ଣ କରିବ, ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କ'ଣ କରିବ ନା ସେ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କୁ ଅଲଗା ହେବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବ। Thus he starts to like lonely and isolation। ସେ ପିଲା କ'ଣ କରିବ, ନିଜକୁ ଆଇସୋଲେସନ୍ ରହିବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବ। This is the seventh stage of Erickson's your what psychosocial development। Seventh stage, that is a generosity versus stagnation। What happens at the stage? And at the stage what happens, an individual desires to be a generalist. The basic strength is the care. Here what is the basic strength? Care is the basic strength. The individual at this stage is more productive and more creative. The individual is very more productive, more creative. You can say curiosity is developed at that time. He wants to generate something new, create something new. He wants to live for others. That is why he is very much sorry, he is very much interested to see better and disciplined world around himself। Okay, he tried to produce something, he tried to deliver something, try to give something to the others। Okay, and he wants to live for others. He means that philanthropic activity will be developed during the time. The adult child, the individual tries to do something do something for others। Okay, if his deeds are not recognized and encouraged from anywhere, a sense of self-observation, observation will be developed, and a sense of stagnation develops। What will happen if his works are not, his philanthropic activities, his initiations, his activities, okay, his dedication and commitments are not respected, not recognized? What will happen? Your stagnation will be developed. So what will happen? The stagnation will be developed in the mind of the child. So the individuals are encouraged. So what is the role of the senior members of the family? The individuals' roles, or the individuals are encouraged, facilitated to be innovative, creative, and the works and efforts are respected and recognized. Their works and efforts should be respected, should be what recognized. This is the seventh stage, and the last stage, that is the integrity versus despair. The last stage of life and the last stage of Erickson's psychosocial development theory. And the stage is known for its integrity in group, profession, society, organization to which he belongs. Wisdom is the basic strength. Try to understand. Wisdom is the basic strength of development at this stage. That is the last stage of life. All the positive personalities from stage 1 to stage 8 are integrated at this stage. All the positive personalities from childhood, from beginning, from first stage to 8th stage, last stage, are integrated at this stage. If the integration of various stages of the personality traits is not possible, the result will be despair. If what happens here, try to understand. If the integration of various stages of personality traits is not possible, the result will be despair. On the other hand, if integration is made, but he and his efforts are not recognized, his integrity turns into despair. What happens at that time? At the old stage, this is the last stage of the life. So if the integration is, for example, if integration is not made, despair will come. If integration is made, but he and his efforts are not recognized, his integrity turns into despair. Thus, integration and recognition leads to a sense of wisdom and acceptance, and the failure results the despair and regret. It means that if the individual is recognized, if the you are, or you can say the individual is respected, he will leads a sense of wisdom and acceptance. If he is not recognized, what will happen? Your failure results in despair, your regret will come. So the above the stages, you can, so what we represented, the 8 stages you are advocated by your Erickson, represents the challenges of individuals face at different stages, different points of life, shaping their personality, social development. So each stage needs proper nurturing and facility. What we learn here, each stage should, or each stage, we have to, being the senior members of the family, our role is to nurture properly. Let us discuss what should, being the teacher or being the family members, what should we do? I want to discuss in a short. The parents, the teachers, and the guides should aware of the above stages and these characteristics of the development. First thing is that the parents, the teachers, the family members, the seniors, the peers, or we can say the batchmates or classmates, everybody should know the developmental characteristics of the these stages. So accordingly, they will be your children, the individuals will be guided properly. This is the first important thing. Okay, so you are the at the first stage of Erickson's psychosocial development theory, proper caring and rearing by fulfilling the physical and psychological needs, or what we have discussed already. What did the I want to say in a nutshell, in a short, at the first stage, what is necessary? Proper caring and rearing by fulfilling the physical and the psychological needs of the children is needed. At this stage 2, the children will be given autonomy and freedom for developing their confidence level, which will help them to start initiative. At the stage 3, that is the, you can say the third stage, the parents and teachers should provide ample scope and opportunity to children to develop positive attitude, a sense of initiative. And at this stage, the parents and teachers should take care of keeping their children away from any kind of guilty. As a result, the children can develop and get success in their personality. At the fourth stage of your psychosocial development theory, a sense of competence in the academic and social work is strengthened of children. They come forward to accept challenges and to do hard works. So the parents and the guides should provide such type of the opportunity to this child. And the fifth stage, that the stage of identity and role confusion. What happens? The child wants to get identified in the team, in the group, and if he is not recognized, if he is not accepted the leader, if he is not accepted the class monitor, if he is not accepted the good, we can say a good member of the or potential member of the family, what will happen? The role confusion will be created. And at the stage 6, individuals try to develop intimacy with the friends, peers, society members, individuals around them. For that, they are to be facilitated and to develop their social efficiency, social sufficiency, and leadership qualities. At the seventh stage, individuals are to be encouraged and facilitated to be innovative, creative, and their works and efforts are respected and recognized. And at the eighth stage, what will happen? Integration and recognition. Last stage, that is the integration and recognition, lead a sense of wisdom and acceptance. So, and the failure results the despair and regret. That's why. So, it is our responsibility. In short, I can say, if you ask me about this theory, I can say Erickson has completely divided the lifestyle into 8 stages. Each stage has its unique characteristics, developmental characteristics. Each stage has its unique challenges and issues, problems. So, being the parents, being the guide, being the supervisor, being the mentor, being the, we can say the classmates, peers, or senior member of the family, we should know each and every stage. We should know the developmental characteristic of each and every stage, and we should try to guide, try to mentor the children or the individuals according to the need and necessity of the stage. So this is very important the developmental theory, what is contributed by Erickson. So every teacher should know about this, and this will be helpful to facilitate the students in their learning process or teaching process. That's all. If you have any doubt, if you have any problem, if you have any confusion, you can ask to me. Thank you.